Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Cobras and welcome back to another video. As you can tell by the title and thumbnail, it's time to read Dead by Daylight Twitter comments. I know I haven't really been uploading a bunch of Dead by Daylight, and my reasoning behind this is I said it before and I'm gonna say it again because I don't know what video I said it in. My computer just cannot handle Dead by Daylight right now. Like, my laptop is killing itself. So that's why I've been uploading a bunch of like random content and mainly playing Roblox. So until I can get a desktop that can actually handle Dead by Daylight, the closest thing we're gonna get to it is Roblox games and Twitter comments. What is this? These comments can consist of, you know, constructive criticism to toxicity to a little bit in between. We'll find out. Let's just jump straight into this. So as you can see, the first post we have is the Boon Healing. Now, I think this post was made on March 28th, so I am a little bit late. However, this post has over 2,000 comments. This whole video just might be off of this one post alone. We're gonna start off by reading the first post, which is Salmonation. Wouldn't the cooldown make sense for this perk? It's a bit frustrating to snuff them out, only to hear it pop right back up. Also, what if instead of reducing healing speeds, you just add a penalty for having a boon or more, such as slow gen repair, for example? I think that's actually a pretty good idea. Maybe, you know, having like a penalty for having a boon instead of like nerfing the speeds. Because, I mean, as soon as a boon is placed, you can't place one anymore until it's destroyed. But as soon as it's destroyed, you can instantly place it back. I think Sam's idea is actually really practical. So, you know, maybe have like a 1 minute, 2 minute cooldown before you could place another one. I mean, the matches in Dead by Daylight alone, at the least, can last like 8-7 minutes. And then go as long as 15 to 20. You know, a minute, 2 minute cooldown won't really, you know, affect the game too much. I think that's a pretty good idea. But anyway, we finna try and find some toxic comments. Alright, here's a comment right here. We got Patricia. When killers complain, devs do something. When survivors do, nothing happens. Did they already nerf Devour? No, Ed? All second chances, killers perk haven't been touched. I'll be back playing with selfish perks, or just turn as main killer and let go survivors instead. First off, grammar, golly, I was having a stroke trying to read that. All right, let me break this down. So, when killers complain, the devs do something, but when survivors do, they do nothing. Right? Cap. Absolutely cap. You wanna know why? Because they nerf killers who don't need to be nerfed. Billy, for example. Yes, they could have, you know, changed some things, but they didn't need to freaking nerf him. Deathslinger. They nerfed him so hard. They could have changed some things, but they didn't need to nerf him so bad to the point where he is worse than Clown. He is worse than Clown. I didn't even think it's possible to be worse than Clown, but it's possible apparently. For all the survivors who were complaining that Deathslinger was too good or too broken, congratulations, he's worse than Clown. When the killers complain, they do something about it. Do you know how long it has taken for them to nerf freaking Hatch? Do you know how long it's taken for them to nerf freaking DS? It's taken them so long for them to nerf those two things, but yet they nerf killers back to back. When Trickster first came out, he was absolutely garbage, and the demand for him to be buffed was so great. It wasn't even just killers who were asking for him to be buffed. It was survivors too. They were like, hey bro, this killer is ass. We need a challenging killer, bro. Buff this nigga. And so devs were like, and buffed him. Now he's A tier. He's A tier. Did they nerf Devour? What about Devour needs to be nerfed? It's a pretty simple, what? You mad because you get one shot whenever the killer hits 4 freaking tokens? Just play better. There are ways to counter that. No-ed. There are plenty of ways to counter no-ed. For instance, bringing a map, taking out those totems. I just spit. If you could take out those totems, like you can have 3 people doing gens, or 2 people doing gens, one person's chasing the killer, the other one can take out all the totems on the map. If they want to take the time to do that. It's not that hard. You can counter no-ed. And plus, no-ed is post-game. It's in-game collapse. So, your reasoning isn't really relevant. What about it needs to be nerfed? The killer speed? You then go on to say, killer perks haven't been touched. Trust me, they have. Anyway, let's see what one of these replies are. Right here, got Bonhadius. He says, Devour is not a second chance perk. You have to specifically go out of your way to get Devour stacks by not camping, discouraging toxic gameplay. And good luck getting to 5 stacks once people realize you have it. That is precisely what I am saying. You have to go out of your way to, well, I didn't say that specifically, but like you have to go out of your way to get stacks. Devour's whole purpose is basically to prevent camping. So if by nerfing Devour, no one's gonna run it. Then someone goes on to say right here, let me switch over. Itmix says, it is a second chance perk. You get one-shot survivors out of nowhere. The game is completely paused until they find the totem or until you kill them all. That's second chance in several ways. You have to go out of your way to get Devour stacks. You mean by not camping? That's what you should do. That's what you should be doing to start with. If you want to apply pressure, not the other way around. You sound like the type who whines about DS despite going out of your way to camp or tunnel. Devour is not a second chance perk. A second chance perk is something that happens like late game. You can get to 5 stacks by the time 3 gens hits. Maybe even before. So how is that a second chance perk? The game is paused until they find the totem or until you kill them all. Duh. Why else? The game is going to be paused because they don't want Devour in the game. Most of the time, people can find Devour unless, you know, the killer gets lucky and it's in a very godly spot. Or they have Undying. And even still, at that point, the killer still has to get 2 more tokens in order for them to Mori them. Since it's very easy to get 3 tokens. You can get it before the survivors even hit 3 gens. It's not second chance. The only way it'd be second chance is if it's late game. And then I do agree by the camping thing. I'll say that. The camping, you shouldn't be camping regardless. This has to be the most neutral comment ever. Now I'm gonna try and read this in the most neutral way, because just by looking at this, at first glance, it could have been taken in a whole different context. But this has to be the most neutral comment ever. Irish Hellcat says, so just another survivor nerf, while killers get buffs. Hey, the killer can always break the boon, just like survivors who don't like no-ed can break it. I do play killer as well as survivor. I don't want them to have a boon. Boom! I snuff it and go on with the game. That has to be the most neutral comment ever. Now, what are the replies? So, Waz Kennedy says, yeah, meanwhile, killer hexes are permanently destroyed. I'm sure y'all would have been annoyed if killers could relit their hex. Ruin, haunted, but killers gotta run around and snuff Circle of Healing and Shadow Step because it counters them. Just destroy the boon wouldn't upset me. Haunted ground is very situational and one I don't run as killer. As a survivor, it can be avoided after broken. Ruin, with good survivors, doesn't do much. Rarely run that one either. I also don't run boons often either. And right below it, I know you can see it, it's Levi. Levi says, this is the first survivor nerf in a year. Meanwhile, killers get nerfed every patch. Yes! Finally, someone who understands. Bro, this is what people need to understand. Killers get nerfed every single patch. The only patch that they're not getting nerfed is this upcoming one with Ghostface and Legion. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button. And I'll see you guys next time when we hit another DBD Twitter comment video. In the meantime, you guys have yourself a good day. Stay hydrated, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!
With my sound, I bring them down, but it's never enough. I gotta mix it up with heat to prove that I am tough. But ain't it true that these people can't handle some flames? Yeah, it's gonna be a carnage when the rest depart like carnage. I'm feeling kinda